of things government should be looking for that will be like long lasting, have greater impact on movement of people and goods and services and all that. So I think this is just like I said, knee-jerk reaction. That's what it is. Because all the necessary thought that should go into this are not there. It's just buy buses. Okay. So with some persons will get rich from it. They import the buses, they distribute them, and then pass it to their friends. And then there is no maintenance culture. And then after some time, they all melt away. Yeah. That's it.
Let's look at the messages coming in. This one is from Idi Mapuza. He says the administration has hit the ground running by fuel subsidy removal or announcements. But unfortunately, the masses who will be affected running around in hardship, may God help Nigeria. And Ajayi says, the problem with our tax system is that the federal government relies on oil revenue instead of tax, whereas in organized societies, the government depends solely on tax for their expenditure. And JP says, we are reactive when it comes to legislation and implementation. Mass transit on gas should be 4 years old. So should water and rail transport. SMEs should be on solar inverters by now. We're always reactive. The new president has set in motion what the former president didn't. By today, we should have had a communique. And I'll take another message. This one is from Tonye. He says, I see a distinct and clear short-sightedness in thinking regarding the electric buses. Firstly, are the buses being deployed all over the country? Lagos State isn't the only country of Nigeria. Secondly, how many people are expected to use them? What would be the hours of operation? So many questions left unanswered. From The Guardian, the Lagos State government has expressed concerns over the menace of single-use polythene bags and plastic bottles, stressing that getting rid of these items has become harder and increase in improper disposal is portending a great danger to human health.
So I feel that just like we've been saying, it's just another knee-jerk reaction to something. This is actually to mark Environment Day. So you go there and you give multiple use bags to people and so on. But the real question is, what are you doing about the tons, millions of tons of plastic that's already in the environment? Yeah, okay, this is preventive. You're saying they should fund. It's not even like going forward, this is a policy. People should use recyclable bags. This should be used and something you can use over time. There is no definite thing. You can do some bags for some people and some bottles to some people for 1 day. And then what happens? What about the larger population? What happens? How can we continue to, I don't know, government is like those in office, in government offices, don't really think through anything. Oh, Environment Day is coming. What are we going to do? Okay, let's get some bags that people can use more than once. And we go there, let's talk to civil servants. That's a program for that event. And then after that, the noise is gone. So we make necessary noise. That's our reaction to fundamental issue of existence. Because when our environment is gone, it's actually our existence we're talking about. So plastics float everywhere. I mean, I just left Lagos yesterday, and I'm telling you, in walking around Lekki Phase 1, I saw drains that were packed full of plastics that couldn't go, blocking the drains and so on. So in fact, the funny thing was that the next day after the heavy rain, they came to clear the drain, and all the road trash that was, and mud and everything that was removed from the drains were put on by the side of the road, and the next rain that comes is going to wash it in. That's the way we do things all the time. It's like people are not thinking deep. I mean, it's just like we're on the surface, just floating and doing, just reactions, do something that ticks the box and all that. So I think the reaction of Lagos State government it just tells a whole lot about the fact that the ministry, so-called Ministry of Environment, does not even know what environment means. Not to talk about knowing how to manage it. Maybe you're an architect. You're in the environment.
That's what I'm talking about. You'll find that the whole thing about waste production, waste disposal is an entire chain. So just giving a couple of 10, 20, 100 people multiple use bags, it's not even up to a drop in the ocean. It's behavioral change. Nothing hurts me more than driving behind a vehicle. You suddenly say a window wound down, a bottle or something thrown out and the window wound up. It is so offensive, but it comes from a certain mindset that it doesn't matter. We have to, you could almost say fatalistically that my generation is gone, but the children have a chance to be taught right now. Abroad, if by any chance an uncle from Africa or an auntie from Africa goes and is trying to throw, you find the children say, no, uncle, no, auntie, they should go. They have been taught right from their infancy how to handle their environment. We have an opportunity here, even my generation and above, to remember that, like you said, this environment is for all of us. When we mess it up, we don't actually have Mars to go to. We're not on Elon Musk's plans at all. We're not among his potential passengers. We are stuck here. So we better make this work, and we can. But it takes understanding the entire set, the processes involved, breaking them down and addressing each of them, starting with behavioral change. It is wrong. Listen, the first time I went to Abuja, I was driving in the vehicle. You know how you buy food? Along the way, I would buy stuff, and I kept putting it inside a bag. So when I now reached Abuja, the drivers came to come and take me to my destination. I said, wait, I need to throw this away. The guy said, I said, I cannot come with you until I know where I can throw this away. And he was really touched. And he said, look, when El Rufai was demolishing, I was affected. But it's people like you that we need in Abuja, people who are conscious that trash doesn't just belong anywhere. It's a mindset thing. So good for Lagos State, but what does that actually do to change people's perception?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take a few more messages and then we'll move to the next story. Deji says there should be reviews with the previous stakeholders on how and why previous transit plans failed before embarking on new white elephant projects. Let us learn from past errors so the new plans work better. And let's see, this one is from JP. He says, reactive again, point system on waste sorting, reuse bags and get discounts, incentives for reuse and recycling. Dormant policy implementation, in my opinion. Chairs. All right. From Punch, reps seek improved teacher salaries to check migration.
As usual, the migration thing. Have you noticed that the reps never migrate?
Yeah.
Maybe the country would be better if the reps migrated and left the rest of us. The reps don't migrate because they are living in the lap of luxury. Their world is ideal. They get overpaid, in my opinion. They do too little.
AB?
Oh, network.
All right. The WhatsApp number is 0809 440 981. This is an issue that continuously happens all across the world. How would this affect remote working? With the cost of petrol, people wanted to work from home.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I mean, the truth simply is that it goes beyond simply saying increase teacher salaries. To what margin can you increase that take care of all the crises that has entered the economy? And then it goes beyond just this. In fact, there's another call by the House of Reps that teachers who are not, they should sanction for black teachers who are not registered, who are not qualified and all that. It should be a total package. It's just like you're talking about the police. If you're talking about the police, their salaries, and it's not just their salary. You're talking about equipping them and all that. So it's a whole gamut. And like Ibi said, you get the best of everything. You make sure everything you need is there. Your welfare, your bills, your tools for work, your offices and all that. Why can't our legislators also think the same for all sectors of the economy? Why?
That is a very valid point. Tonya says, I normally use water dispensers and refill empty bottles. I've promised myself never to use single-use plastic water bottles. After I had an issue with my dispenser and found myself drinking up to 12 bottles a day. The sheer effort to dispose of the empty bottles is a task in itself. More problem-solving thoughts, again, need to be employed. And Gary Newton says, talking about subsidy removal, it's overdue and cannot wait for plans to be set in motion first. Hence, this administration needs to be proactive in mitigating the effects as they arrive. All right. Welcome back, AB. We lost you right in the middle of your thought, but if you could wrap up in about a minute or so.
AB, you're muted. You're muted.
Forgive me, I don't know what happened, but very quickly, I just said whatever
Political
it is
enemies.
that no, not at all. Okay, hey, you never know. Whatever it is that forgive me, whatever it is that makes the reps confidently sit down within the country and muse about why other people are seeking quote unquote greener pastures. The reps should sit in front of the mirror and understand why they are so comfortable here and others are not, and begin to address those gaps. That's the summary of it. Reps are migrating. Why not? Apply the context to other people, and you'll find people much more committed not to migrating.
Brilliant point, AB. Brilliant point. Well, that is all the time that we have for Freshly Pressed this morning. Thanks for listening. Thank you for your messages. And special thanks to our analysts, Joseph and AB, for joining us this morning.
Well, you've been
Thank
great,
you
Zibby. Thanks so much.
so much.
Thank
AB,
you.
fantastic
God
as
bless you
ever.
all.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Bye
you.
And
And
now.
happy
have,
weekend to listeners, everybody. Have fun and stay safe.
Very
Thank
true.
you.
Bye now.
and have a brilliant day ahead. That is it for Freshly Pressed.